does not rise to the level of smart development. I will address just one issue today, and that issue affects me and thousands of other residents in Central and Leeward Oahu on a daily basis, and that issue is traffic. The traffic in Honolulu was recently rated the worst in the nation. Adding tens of thousands more houses as proposed in the EVA development plan will add tens of thousands more cars to a freeway system that is already beyond capacity. The traffic will be at a standstill and will continue to degrade our quality of life. The extra hours spent in traffic each day are hours that we cannot spend with our families. Rail might help a little, but it will not even come close to absorbing the projected increase in traffic. The answer is to build the infrastructure first before adding more homes. Nowhere does the revised EVA development plan address increasing capacity on our freeway system. The reality is that all of us will suffer if the revised EVA development plan is passed without first addressing the serious infrastructure shortfalls in our traffic system. Our children and grandchildren will suffer from this lack of foresight. I urge the Council to oppose Bill 65 until the traffic nightmare is resolved. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Members, any questions for the testifier? No questions? Mr. Daniel Bishop, followed by Donna Wong, followed by Karen Luke. Is Mr. Bishop here? If not, Donna Wong? Is Ms. Wong here? Karen Luke?
Here.
Okay, please come forward. State.
Hi, my name is Karen Luke. I'm from Eva Beach. I oppose Bill 65. Remember December 7, 1941. This is the season of Obon, season for remembrance. Eva Field was an operational Marine base with 22 Marine Corps aircraft. The Japanese attack on Eva Field destroyed 21 of these aircraft. 4 Marines were killed defending Eva Field. Many were wounded. In 1999, Barbers Point was closed and Eva developed a plan that is very different from what we have here today. Park space was marked and I envisioned an attraction similar to the Arizona Memorial, which receives more visitors than any other site on Oahu. Today, Bill 65 attaches an insensitive, disrespectful, revised EVA plan with construction of roads through the heart of Eva Field, where some of your predecessors and state legislators attended memorial services for lives lost on December 7. Remember December 7, 1941. The state legislature called for full preservation of the airfield. We have submission to state and federal historic registers. Eva Field is a historic landmark and national American battlefield. The revised EVA plan dishonors the lives given on December 7. Please oppose this bill and amend the plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Members, any questions for the testifier? Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ms. Luke, some of the members have questions for you.
Yes, Ms.
Councilmember Menor, followed by Councilmember Pine.
Thank you, Menor.
Councilmember Menor first. Okay. Go ahead.
I just wanted to offer a comment, and you can respond. I strongly share your concerns about the need to preserve the airfield.
Thank
It's a
you.
significant historic site. But if you look at the Oahu Development Plan closely, it does contain provisions that would enable the city and other governmental entities to take actions in the future to preserve that very important site. For example, on page 3-21 of the EVA Development Plan, you will find specific language that says or refers to the EVA Marine Corps Airfield as being a significant historic site for the region. In addition, if you look at page 3-19 of the EVA Development Plan, it specifically states that no development can be allowed through that Marine Corps airfield until a study is completed, a comprehensive study is completed with respect to the boundaries of that historical site, as well as other issues that are important to the preservation of that area. So I just wanted to share that with you to clarify the point that there are provisions in the EVA Development Plan. I said Oahu Development, I'm sorry, I meant the EVA Development Plan, that call for the preservation of that site and which would enable government officials such as myself to take actions in the future to preserve that important site, not only for this generation, but for future generations of residents. So I wanted to clarify that point. Did you want to comment?
Yes, those statements are true, but they contradict what I see on the EVA development plan.
Thank you.
Okay.
You should go back and read the finding.
Councilmember Pine.
Where in the EVA development plan does it say that we're going to plow a road through this field?
Where's the north-south road going?
The north
I haven't
south
seen you
road-
at the development plan meetings, so I'm sorry, I'm not accustomed to your interest. And I wish you would fight for the proper plan. The north-south road cuts right through, goes right through Pride Field.
It does not, ma'am.
Where
And
does it
as
go?
As a granddaughter of a Pearl Harbor survivor, and as the only elected official whose husband is currently serving our country, I would never allow that to happen.
Thank you. So where do you think that north-south road is going to go?
Are you aware that because of a lot of the provisions that we have put in here, not only in the legislature as well as in the EVA development plan, that right now Department of Transportation as well as DHHL that owns the adjacent land is currently rerouting the end of North-South Road? And I'm sure the people telling you this did not inform you of that. There's a very big effort to do that. And I've been to many planning meetings for the last 10 years, and I'm sorry that I didn't attend the ones that you attended, but I need to clarify this right now. This body honors our men and women's sacrifices, as well as the families of our families that died in that field.
Perhaps then we need more transparency, because when I reviewed last night the EVA development plan, that was still there.
It's not there, and I challenge anyone in this room to show me where it's there.
Do you have a copy of the plan?
We do, and you can take a break and you can show me where it's at.
Be happy to.
And there's a lot of language here, and I have to say this early because, you know, people are not seeing everything that's in this plan. Any type of roadway that is discussed, it says on page 4-6, recognition of this plan of these major improvements to future roadway networks for the EVA plan in no way implies City Council approval of these projects. This is a guide.
It's a guide that until amended, which will take another 5 years to amend this plan, should you agree to it, will allow people to develop in these 5 years. And then when we go through this again in 5 years, we'll have another 5-year battle. So we're looking at 10 years down the road.
Well, I encourage you back to your main statement. We do have a copy of the EVA development plan with staff behind here, and you can
Thank you. I
look
have a
through
copy.
and find it. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? Councilmember Menor, go ahead.
Yeah, just one quick follow-up to Councilmember Pine's comments. In regards to the north-south road, that would be a governmental road, a city road, which means that the road cannot be built unless the project comes before the city council. And as a legislative body, we need to make a final decision at that point in time as to whether or not to provide funds for the construction. Otherwise, the construction can't proceed. And as part of our budgetary responsibilities, we would have a say and input in regards to where that road can be aligned and or will be located. So I'd like to assure you that notwithstanding whatever happens today with respect to the EVA development plan, that your elected officials would still be willing to work with the community to ensure that any roads that are going to be proposed that come under city and county jurisdiction, that those roads will not cross or traverse or be located in areas that would significantly negatively impact the historical and cultural significance of important areas in the EVA region.
Then you're saying no roads will traverse Pride Field or the airfield?
that's a determination that the city council will eventually have to make down the road with respect to any roads or areas that are under the jurisdiction of the city and county of Honolulu.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any further questions for the testifier? If not, thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Okay. You know, it's fine to applaud for any of the testifiers. It's no problem. But I would ask you to refrain from commenting while the testifier is testifying or when any of the council members are speaking, just as a courtesy. You'll have your opportunity to offer your comments when you come up to the mic, okay? So I just would ask for your cooperation in that regards. I would really appreciate it. Okay, Al Lardizabal, followed by Vernon Ta'a, followed by Kealoha O Iopu.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Al Lardizabal, representing the Hawaii Laborers Union. We are in strong support of Bill 65, 2012, CD1. Fundamentally, it's a way of life. I'd like to respond to one of the testifiers. Yes, we will benefit. Thousands of your Hawaii workers and families, Hawaiian, Japanese, Korean, Polynesians will benefit by getting wages, buying food, sending their people to school, buying a home. Yes, we will benefit. We're not ashamed of it. We love the land too. We support this document. It's a very important document. It will guide public policy in your millions of dollars of public infrastructure investment and land use policy decisions. It's been decided since 1977 that the City Council said, keep the country country. And by that, we build in Honolulu proper and the Everplains and Kapolei. That's in the plans for 1977. We appreciate the courage of this council to move forward because the only way to stop development is to stop birth. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Members, any questions for the testifier? No questions? Thank you, sir. Vernon Ta'a, followed by Kealoha O Iopu, followed by Pearl Johnson. Go ahead, Mr. Ta'a.
Aloha, Chair Martin and honorable members of the City Council. Thank you for allowing me to share my support for Bill 65. My name is Vernon Ta'a, and I reside in Kapolei within Kanahili, one of the Department of Hawaiian Homeland's recent neighborhoods. There are many reasons I moved my family to Kapolei a few years ago. Most importantly, I wanted to be part of a growing region and give my grandchildren the opportunity to experience a budding community. My 13-year-old grandson, Elijah, when we moved to Kapolei, said, "Papa, I'm so glad you moved to Kapolei." He has so many new friends, and it's been a wonderful experience thus far. Bill 65 is critical to my family, because without it, the plans to develop Ewa and Kapolei into a true secondary urban center will not be realized. For those of us who reside, who are residents there today, we expect smart planning and growth to continue. This includes planning for more schools. My grandson is in a track system, and there's quite a few students there and not enough schools. Please move Bill 65 forward. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Members, any questions for the testifier? No questions? Thank you, sir. Kealoha? Sir, followed by Pearl Johnson, followed by Victoria Cannon. Go ahead, sir.
Aloha kākou. Ke aloha o Iopu ko inoa. Born and raised here in Hawaii, I've seen the changes. I want to say that there's a reason for everything that happens in life. Whether we condone it or condemn it, the fact remains there's a reason. There's a reason why all of us are here today. There's a reason why you're sitting at those chairs, Council and Chairman. It's because people put you there who believe that you will do the right thing at the right time. I'm here because of an appointment by Io, the creator of all, to come and deliver a message of compassion. Think now about the word that was given by the Reverend this morning and all that he said, which pertains to what we're talking about. Aloha. The word aloha, from Io's point of view, the definition of aloha is unrestricted compassion bubbling over. Again, aloha, the description of aloha, unrestricted compassion bubbling over. Have the compassion for the Aina that he created. Have the compassion for the people who work the Aina, for the families and for all who grow. Have the compassion to understand what he is saying, that aloha is spoken to those who understand. Do you understand compassion? I urge you to stop this bill now. Bill 65. Stop it. From his point of view, you will be held accountable for everything that you do, and so do I. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
God bless each of you.
Thank you for your testimony. Members, any questions for the testifier? No questions? Thank you. Pearl Johnson, followed by Victoria Cannon, followed by Dean Okimoto. Is Ms. Johnson here? No? If not, we're going to go on to Victoria.
Aloha, everyone. My name is Victoria Cannon. I'm a resident of Makakilo for 25 years. I'm here. I oppose the passage of Bill 65, the proposed revised EVA development plan at this time. It needs to be deferred or sent back to committee, Mr. Chairman. You folks seem happy to pave over 1,500 acres of the finest farmlands in the state, and some say the country, while you ignore the horrendous consequences of development on steroids as is suggested in this document. We need to have this bill sent back for proper resolution of many things. First of all, at least show us some respect, Ms. Pine, and let the public be known about these 15 amendments that we, the residents of Eva Plain, submitted, which the Department of Permitting and Planning submitted, totally rejected summarily. They need to be either, you folks need to be made aware of them, or they need to be vetted properly in public. And I'm going to change my testimony right here to address something you're saying. There's a lot said in both the current version of the EDP and the proposed revised versions, none of which needs to be adhered to. History has proven time and time again, Ms. Pine, and I have one example here regarding affordable housing, which was cut summarily by the developer with no consequences. Their permit was granted based on building these affordable homes, and they never built them. Nobody is enforcing what's stated in those documents, neither yourselves nor the DPP. Finally, I just really want to say that you folks need to give this bill some more public consideration. We have a new representative. She hasn't helped me an iota. I don't know if she's helped anyone else. But her campaign contributions show she's backed by unions, construction workers, realtors, and over 30 people in Honolulu. And, excuse me, where are the people in Eva Beach and Kapolei? 30 different people. I just pulled 2 different reports real quickly, just randomly off the internet from the commission website. 30 people in Honolulu? Excuse me, I live in Makakilo. I need to be shown some more respect. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your testimony. Members, any questions for the testifier? Any questions, members? Councilmember Pine. Councilmember Pine has a question for you.
Thank you so much, Victoria, for coming all the way from Makakilo to be here. You had called me out, so I'm going to respond. You said that I need to show respect to have a public hearing on the 15 amendments that I guess your group had proposed.
I'd much rather have Mr. Martin have the public hearing, please.
Actually, I prefer that the public have the hearing, and so I wrote a letter, and I can send you all the documentation. I did not have to do this, but I felt it was my obligation to the people of Eva Beach and Kapolei. There were 2 public hearings in the community on those 15 amendments, one at the Eva Neighborhood Board and one at Kapolei, and I was not a part of any of that. It was all from the neighborhood boards, and they voted those amendments down, and that is why it did not proceed
Those
to
neighborhood
any of
boards
the
do not
amendments.
represent the people. They represent their own personal interests. Come to our new neighborhood board meetings. Then you'll get a true picture of what we, the people, want.
Well, I think that people will disagree with your people, and so, in the end, this is government, and I respect your comments, and I wish you folks the best
Thank
of
you.
luck. Thank you.
Any further questions for the testifier? If not, thank you for your testimony. Okay, Dean Okimoto, followed by Gene Parola.
Hi, my name is Dean Okimoto. I'm a 30-year farmer. I wish I was 30 years old. In Waimanalo, and I'm also president of the Hawaii State Farm Bureau Federation. I helped in crafting Act 83, which is the IAL bill. Okay, and I will tell you that the purpose of the IAL bill was not a land use bill. It is an ag viability bill. It's to help farmers farm. So when we designate lands for IAL, we wanted an active farming, right? Okay, so it's not to be used for land use planning, 1. Okay? 2, I see a lot of people here with Save Oahu Ag farmlands here. We have just had 1,500 acres of Galbraith lands going into, and it will be an active agriculture production probably within the next year. Okay? That's 1,500 acres. We also had a bill this past session at the end where we were trying to purchase 20,000 acres of dole lands. I did not see any of these people out there supporting us in trying to get this purchase done. We will still try to pursue that. And I think 20,000 acres plus 1,500 acres that are going into active ag production is a lot of acreage to be putting into active ag production on Oahu in the near future. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Menor has a question for you, Mr. Okimoto.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know, a significant concern that's been expressed about this plan is that the kinds of crops that are currently being grown in on the acreage or in the area where Ho'opili will eventually be built and developed, that those kinds of crops cannot be grown as well in other alternative agricultural areas or lands, such as you mentioned the Galbraith lands. So can you comment on that?
I beg to differ because, well, if we get the dole lands, yeah, there are certain crops that grow better in the Everplains, definitely. Okay, but everything can be grown. I mean, we're talking 20,000 acres of dole land. This land goes from Wahiawa around the North Shore down to Ka'ava. There are lands in there, I can guarantee you, that can grow almost anything that we want to grow. So, you know, we still have lands available. I do believe that we need homes for our children in the future because, I mean, our homes are exorbitantly priced. I have a 24-year-old daughter. I don't want her going to the mainland for a job. You know, I want her to stay here and be able to afford a home here, and this is one way it's going to happen. So, you know, I beg to differ that that we can, and there is another farmer here that will tell you that the 200 acres that is designated within Ho'opili is good ag land that we can grow things on. And I think it's good for the community to know how agriculture works because it's not an easy business. We're both farmers that are fairly well known, and we're at risk. It's tough to make a buck in agriculture. So we need support, but we don't want to be fighting these kind of things. We need support in supporting the Galbraith lands, in supporting the dole lands going forward.
Councilmember Pine. Mr. Okimoto, one more.
Thank you for coming today. I have to say this is the area that I'm the most conflicted as coming from a plantation family that farmed all my life still. How much unused ag land prime ag land are we not farming right now, do you know?
Well, there's a process right now within the city. There's a Important Ag Lands Task Force that has just completed a study, and I think the director of DPP will be commenting on where the progress of that is right now. So I think he'll probably address how many acres are still available for agriculture production going forward, but it's a significant amount.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any further questions for the testifier? If not, thank you for your testimony. Gene Parola, followed by Pearl Johnson.
Aloha and mahalo to the chairman and the council for hearing our individual testimonies on this bill, which I oppose. I'm a resident of Manoa and come here today representing no organized group, but instead representing a large group who by their absence tell a story of their loss of faith in their government. We bring our plea to this council today as a court of last resort. The large group I speak of are not here because they have been at meetings and hearings and have testified before boards and commissions with appointed memberships that have generally displayed little interest in their concerns. Because the commission members are appointed, they have little fear of the electorate. As a result, there's a population given the impression, unfortunately, that the fix is in, and no amount of good faith participation in bringing additional information or varied points of view will make any difference. What a blow to our democratic process. But today, we sit before an elected body, and that we hope that it better understands the responsibility to represent the people who have elected them. We hope that at this critical time in the fight to resist the corporate excesses so aptly represented in the sad little maps presented for publication in last Sunday's newspaper, that some careful thought will be given not only to the destruction of that valuable farmland, but to the realities of water, roads, and the infrastructure generally that this bill implies. And I beg you to consider the larger issue of representative government that this bill, that this process, and that indeed you are the court of last resort before this flawed item becomes law. Mahalo for your attention.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your testimony. Members, any questions? No questions? Pearl Johnson? And Pearl Johnson is the last of our registered testifiers. Anyone else wishing to offer testimony, please start lining up to my left. Okay? Go ahead, Ms. Johnson.
Good morning. I'm Pearl Johnson, speaking for the League of Women Voters of Honolulu. The League opposes Bill 65, which adopts the EVA Development Plan. This plan removes the most productive farmland on Oahu and allows it to be covered by housing. One of the first testifiers said that we need homes. But does it make sense to take prime agricultural land and put houses on it? No, homes should be built on land that is not suitable for agriculture. The construction of these homes not only removes this land from production of food when the houses are built, it removes this land forever from producing food because the rich soil is not suitable for housing. This soil would be removed and replaced with crushed coral to provide a suitable foundation. So if we should decide in the future that more locally produced food is essential, removing the houses would still not make the land available for farming. Another objectionable feature of this plan is that it refers to what has traditionally been called Honouliuli and is now using the developer's name, Ho'opili. Of course, a developer may call his land whatever he wants, but it's unbecoming for the city government to ignore native traditional names and adopt a developer's name. Adoption of Bill 65 should be postponed, and what is called Ho'opili should be designated important agricultural land. Thank you for this opportunity to testify.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Members, any questions for the testifier? No questions? Okay, again, that's the end of our list of registered testifiers. We welcome all public testimony. For those of you seeking to offer testimony, please state your name for the record. You have 1 minute to offer your testimony. When you hear the buzzer go off, please come to conclusion.